What is up, everybody? Welcome to my official first video of reviewing. Like I said in the video before, trying to go into a different route for this YouTube channel. Still no name change, nothing of that sort or anything like that. So what we're going to be reviewing today is pretty much the Xbox Series S. Obviously, the main one that I wanted to get was the Series X, just to see the difference in each one. Obviously, this is a digital version. There is no disc entry thing here, which I think is kind of good in a sense because I collect discs because it's just who I am and that's what I've enjoyed to do. But the number one thing is that I don't want to have to take up a lot of space when it comes to, the discs and the casings. So I was okay with getting this one. Obviously, I was kind of shocked that I was able to pick one up, but this is the Series S. Now, obviously, at the top of this one, it looks like a speaker for a lot of people who pretty much gave a lot of memes to this one on top of the PlayStation. But this right here is the fan, right? And I like where the fan is positioned, to be honest with you. I like the fact that depending on how you have it, obviously you can stand it up like this, face it like, well, technically this is the only place that you could do it because I don't know if you can see, but right here, that's like the rubber stopper. So obviously the system should be standing like this. The only thing is though, is with that fan blowing that way, in case you want to make sure that you have enough space because you don't want to set it down somewhere where by the end of the day, all the heat coming from the system is blowing onto something else that can cause that to overheat, which I kind of almost had that problem. I had it standing right next to the PS5 and by the end of the night, I touched my PS5 and it was pretty hot. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's slim. It's not heavy. I like the color. I like the white. Obviously you have your controller sync button here, USB right here. On the back, and I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I went ahead and I bought myself a Seagate extra storage terabyte for the system because the system storage isn't a lot. I believe if I'm correct, it's about 500 and something gigabytes, right? I need to get my details right. But the thing is with that, and honestly, I do recommend, if you do decide to pick one of these up, I do recommend one of these. It does have a slot at the bottom right there. So you pretty much just kind of click it in, it goes in. It automatically registers the terabyte. I recommend these because, like I said, the storage really isn't all that great. And of course, the games nowadays, the downloading sizes on them are pretty ridiculous. So that's that. You have your HDMI out, your two USB ports right here too. You've got the power output and then your Ethernet. But outside of that, also down here, in case you decide to lay it down, there are your little rubber things. It is a great system. Now, the number one thing that I have had an issue with for the majority of the time when it comes to Xbox is just the amount of exclusives that aren't really out yet for the next generation consoles. Obviously, Game Pass is a great thing to have, and the price for it a month isn't bad at all, which is $14.99. And you got a list of categories of games that I actually do enjoy. I've been playing Ori and the Will of Wisps, which I'm in love with that game. It is frustrating, but they have a huge selection of games, different games that you can try out. But the thing is, I'm kind of in a sense of where you don't want to just get finished playing off every single game that's on there, even if you choose not to play certain games. It's kind of get bored of the Game Pass. So that's the number one thing that I've kind of noticed with Game Pass. I love it. Great price. Nothing to complain about it. It's awesome. And the fact that you can play it on PC as well is another amazing feature that you have. So moving on from the system itself and everything. Now, another things too, I'll try to go into in-depth review when it comes to like, the startup and everything like that. Cause it was kind of confusing at me first because I'm not used to Xbox's homepage. So it's one of those things that, obviously I want to review. Now, the controller that it came with, the controller that it came with, it, to me, and I've had this discussion with Mr. Tez, there's nothing different from this controller from last year's controller with the Xbox One X, Scorpio Edition, whichever one that you decided to get, or just the Xbox One. I feel like these controllers really haven't updated much besides, the directional button looking differently and the fact that it has this, these little detailed, trying to get it on the light, really can't, but there's like a rough detailed thing here just for grip and everything. Now, another thing too, about these controllers. It's like I said, I didn't see a difference in controllers from last year and this year. But that's just personally. Another thing too that I don't really like is, of course, the use for batteries. Now, I know that there was a statement, because a lot of people were questioning too, that Duracell and Xbox have a partnership reason why they have batteries in their controllers, and they haven't moved on to the step like in Sony's where they're rechargeable batteries and everything like that. Do I think this controller should have had a little bit more new details? Yes, I do, because, you know, when we get into the review section of the PlayStation 5 and the DualSense controller, or I think it's a DualSense, I don't even know the name, but obviously there's a lot of features that that controller has to offer that the Xbox couldn't jump up to. But you know what? It's not bad. Everybody has their different choice. Like I said, I don't agree with the console wars. I have pretty much everything: a Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, this, and even from last generation. So I don't see it. I enjoy it. My shirt, it's Ryu. Anyways, that's one thing that I really don't focus on is, you know, well, Sony has this and Xbox has that. But at the same time, you kind of would think, with it being a next generation console, you would expect something different from a controller. Outside of that, one thing that I did notice about the Xbox controller when it came to the system is I usually have my Xbox on instant on, because that's what I like. You know, I like saying Xbox on and all that other stuff. That it does come with the feature. But I did notice, and I don't know if it's a bug or if it's something that Microsoft has realized, that is happening around the time. When I was playing Ori and the Will of the Wisp for about maybe 45 to 50 minutes, my controller would freeze. The light would stay on, but Ori was moving on his own, pretty much dying, and it was unresponsive. And I was kind of concerned because I was like, you know, I haven't even had this system for about a month. So it was a bit of a concern, but, you know, obviously researching it and Googling it all up, I had to change the power saving mode to avoid from that happening. Now that is kind of an inconvenience because, like I said, I love having that other feature on and I really enjoy it. But the fact that my controller was becoming unresponsive was hard. I tried taking off the batteries, resetting the console, and sometimes it would work, but then within 15 minutes to, you know, 10 minutes, the controller was doing the exact same thing. But outside of that, you know, my review on the Series S is, it's a great system. Obviously, you know, I know everybody wants the Series X due to the more powerful part of it and the size of storage. But if you're not really into the whole disc feature and you're a digital person, which a lot of people are, I recommend this one if you can get your hands on it. Like I said, it's beautiful, it's sleek, it's small, very compact. It's not heavy whatsoever. You know, I like the white part of it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, some people, you can have it, you know, facing like this or like this. It's really great. Obviously, there's a lot of technical things because before I purchased this one, obviously, like I said, is the X was one that I really wanted to get. But I went ahead and, again, for anybody who's looking in the market for something new when it comes to next gen, whether you're on the PlayStation side or the Xbox side or even both, make sure you look up the details and the specs to make sure that you have everything that you need and it's something that you're willing to spend the money on. Because again, that's what I did before I made this purchase for the Series S. I wanted to make sure that I was getting everything that I expected. And it hasn't disappointed. Obviously, with the lack of exclusives, Game Pass is a place to go at the moment to enjoy these things. And there are a lot of games out there that have been upgraded to the Series S performance. Again, Ori is one of them. It's a great game. And so, yeah, my review on this, I would, if it was up to me, if I was working at IGN, I would honestly give this a 9 out of 10. Again, it's just console exclusives that really kind of throw me off. Outside of that, it's really not. And hopefully they can fix the bug for the controller, you know, because it's a feature that I'm sure a lot of people like to have. And just the fact that it became unresponsive, unless there's something else that I need to look into, I really don't know. I did almost drop this. That would have been bad. But outside of that, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully I can continue doing more unboxings, more reviews. Sometime next week, I want to say maybe Tuesday, I will be dropping another one on the PlayStation 5 with everything else that has come to its accessories, the headsets, the controller, the system itself and everything else that I have purchased for that system. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, this isn't the way the setup should be. I do work on getting better lighting because I don't have much lighting like I used to. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Hopefully, if you guys have any recommendations, I will be purchasing accessories for the Xbox Series S. We can do unboxings and talk about what those accessories are for and if they're worth buying. But I'm out, everybody. Peace out. Have a good one.